Good morning and welcome back to Take a Leap podcast. This is your host, Juliana Flores. Thank you. For those who are new, welcome to my podcast where we leap into different topics and get people's opinions and comments. And for those who have been here since the beginning, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I hope y'all enjoys today's topic. Today's topic is going to leap into a very important part of my life. High school. Bum, bum, bum. Where you either are or you aren't. At least that's what I've heard, because I guess you could say I was one of those small, fortunate kids who was able to go to an early college high school. Well, for those of you who don't know what the big dealio is, it's just super simple. It's a high school where you put the right amount of effort, you can graduate with an associate's degree from whatever college you attend that, part of the, I believe, the DCCCD colleges. And you can graduate with your associates, and like I said, and also your high school diploma. Simple, right? Well, yeah, the concept is, but what about actually going? And I mean, it's not totally out of this world. It's just like any regular high school. Like other high schools also offer college credit courses and AP classes. So what's the big difference, right? Well, drum roll. That's today's topic. What's the big diff? I will be talking about my experience as a high school student in an early college high school. So, let's leap. Oh, and a little PSA. Please excuse my voice. This weather change is not the move. Let's get started. And we're back. I honestly feel like a broken record saying, let's leap into it. But what can one do when that's the name of the podcast, am I right? Anywho, let's leap into it. My high school years, I would say, was as good as it got while being in school because, of course, like any normal teenager that I wanted to leave once I got there. Okay, well, here are some questions that I actually had for my website. Because, as you know, I've been kind of playing around with this topic, and I finally got around to it. And I asked y'all to ask me a couple questions, leave a couple comments, little hashtags. And here are some of the questions that I kind of, broke it down to, more of, the basic questions that, if you're looking into going to an early college high school, what should you expect? What shouldn't you, what's the whole dealio? What's the whole big thing about an early college high school? Okay, the first one was, talk about your early college high school. So here's a little background information on it. The early college high school I went to is called Early College High School. It was located on the Brookhaven campus, one of the DCCCD campuses. It was located in Farmers Branch. I got super lucky. It was only 6 minutes away from my house. And that's if there wasn't any traffic. So that was super good when I was senior year and I got to go home and eat lunch. It was great. But anywho, there have only been, I want to say, 7 to 10 graduating classes. This school has just opened. There was a point where there's this Turner High School. It's one of the local Farmers Branch Carrollton high schools. And the students from early college would get picked up from Turner by a bus and taken to the campus, to take their college classes. And that's crazy to me because now, they have their little building. But before, it was just a pop-up school. They had porta parties. Nothing was, set in. So, and finally, I got lucky and I got to go to the school when, it's a full building. Even though it's just, a little rectangle with, I want to say, 10 classrooms. The principal's office is super small. It's just itty-bitty. We don't even have a gym or a cafeteria. Only, the college's cafeteria, which is just, a little cafe. And they only have Subway and a little bookstore, which everything is overpriced. But, as a high school student, you can't really go off campus until your senior year. And yeah, that's kind of a little background knowledge into what it was, just, and yeah. Okay, the next question is, I guess this is more about my choice into why I chose early college high school. So the question was, what was your tipping point into early college high school? Well, honestly, Turner would have been my other school if I had gone to I guess the regular high school. And Turner does not have a very good reputation. And I'm not saying that, like, every student who goes to Turner turns out to be this horrible person, because that's not true. But, like, if I did have this chance to go to an early college high school, get my associates and everything. Everything looked great. My counselor was like, you should go for it. You have the good grades. I feel like you would do good in this school. So I chose it, and my parents were also pushing, being that I'm a first generation student, and like that was like a really important part to me and to my parents, because the first daughter finally going off to college, getting a better chance of going to college, and it's just like a good way to push myself. And that was it, just really my parents and what I had to offer to the school, and also leaving a good example for my younger siblings. What was I most worried about? Honestly, of course, like any other middle schooler, it was my friends, my clique, my posse. I was terrified that I was probably never going to see them again, because apparently they would leave the face of the earth if I went to a different school or something. But that's what I thought. And I don't know, just the thought of going somewhere different than everybody else, like, it was a little like nerve-wracking, but overall I'm so glad with my decision and everything. Transitioning into a new environment, I guess this one goes in once I'm already there. It was different. It really was. You got there and we were going. I remember the math teacher the first day, she was, okay, we're going to start learning. No, we actually had that thing called Fish Camp, which was the week after middle school ended. The following Monday, it was like a whole week where it was called Fish Camp, and you would go and you would kind of like tour the school, get to know the teachers and everything, and you started learning since then. And summer you had your assignment, and then starting again the school year, freshman year, you had to have everything, all the homework that they had asked. And that was like a little, I was like, whoa. But like I said, best decision ever. New people. I actually love the way that they had the schedule set up. Because, it was a small school. There was only about 100 kids. And that was a lot of kids as freshmen, actually. But the good thing was that I got to stay with the people in my class, in like my homeroom class. I was in every single class with them, so that was really nice. You really got to know the people a whole year. They became my best friends, and I still talk to them to this day, even after high school, and they're off in different colleges and everything. So yeah, that's something I really like about the school. I feel like I hear in like other high schools, people are switching friends, like they switch, I don't know, their socks in the morning, I hope. But yeah, all through high school, the same people. I find that crazy. And honestly, I love them, and like they've become like part of my family. Parents know each other's parents and everything. It's just great that I got to experience that. I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that anywhere else, really, because, I don't know, but yeah. Now, the college courses, they weren't... Okay, well, freshman year, we got Spanish, health class, and I believe those were the only ones. They were super... Well, I thought they were easy, being a Spanish speaker. And health class, I really liked that the teachers we got to teach us from the college, they knew that we were high school students, and they had taught high school students before. And they were willing to teach high school students, because some teachers are like, no high school students. They want older, mature kids, not little 15-year-olds in the college campus. But I thought that was really great. And it was only high school students in the classroom, so I think that helped a lot. Like, you don't have like that like awkward thing where like it's you're in a college class and you don't know anybody, and then usually ends up like that till the end of the year, and you just never talk to anybody unless you're kind of forced to. And I think that was really great that we got to stay with our peers, and we didn't really separate into having college kids until like senior year, and like by then you usually had like at least another high school student with you. And so it wasn't as awkward or as weird. You know, you got your work done. And honestly, the high school kids were a little bit more reliable than the college students. But that's a whole different story. We're not going to talk about that or go into that. Because, let me tell you the things I went through. But yeah, because, you know, being high school GPA and the college GPA, not just, you know, regular. Well, you know. And I guess this goes along with, like, the college classes. The high school teachers, they were, you know, they were separate teachers from the college teachers. And I think that was great. You got so close with all your teachers because there was literally only, like, 10 teachers in, like, the high school. Like, freshmen, sophomore, junior, and seniors got taught by, like, the same teachers. Unless, you know, college classes. Even then, like, you still got the same professors and everything. But the teachers, they were amazing. They knew that the courses that you were taking, you know, it would take more out of your daily lives, I guess. And so we had Avid, and everything was like, cool down notes. So taking notes in your college classes, kind of preparing you and helping you along in your college classes, because they understood from prior years that, you know, you're still a high school student. You're going to need the help. You're not an adult. You don't really have the mindset of, like, oh, you know, oh my God, I need to get my work done. No, you're kind of like, well, I'm just playing around because, you know, all your friends are there. And I think it was really great. We got to do something called PBL, project-based learning. You got to work a lot with, like, your peers, the high school students, and it was so stressful. But that's okay. Everybody did good, you know, if you did your work. And honestly, the one thing that I loved about this school, okay, usually, I guess not to, like, trash on, like, public schools or anything. Oh, this was a public school. But not to trash on, like, you know, your big high schools where teachers don't even know the name of the students. One of my friends told me, actually, that, you know, that they usually do the high school senior picture. And you have, like, 300, 400 plus students, seniors. And he was like, some of these people I had never seen in my life, like, throughout high school. Like, if they were here, why didn't I see them, right? And with the high school, like I said, everybody was super close and everything, and I think that really helped. Yeah, like, the teachers knew each student's names, their strengths, their weaknesses, so whenever we did, like, a project or something, they knew who was doing the work and who wasn't going to do the work, and they were able to move people around, switch them around, see if they floated or they went all the way down into the sea. And I think that was really great because they understood that there are kids like that. And it kind of pushed, I guess, like, the less motivated people into doing their work. And because they knew that the teacher knew that they weren't doing their work and that they weren't going to do their work. So, you know, like, bar was super high up. And I think that was really good. Like, you got on, like, kind of a personal level with the kids and the teachers. And also the parents were super duper involved. The PTA was raising money like crazy. It was great. We got fundraisers and everything. I think that's kind of, like, one of the things that I love more about the school. It's just that it's so small and everybody was super close. And you got help from everybody, like FAFSA, putting your applications for colleges, universities. All these teachers, they just wanted the best for you. They helped you with everything you needed, college essays, you know, like, writing, yeah, your college essays, when you're applying to the colleges and universities and everything. They helped you, they edited it for you, they revised it for you, they draft after draft after draft, they were always there for you. And I think that's, like, a plus. It's not just, like, the teacher would help only, like, her favorite kids. No, the teacher knew every single kid, and she would help anybody who asked. And I think that's why my favorite teacher was my Avid teacher, helping us with our FAFSA, our applications, everything. And he was so sarcastic. It was totally different for me. I was a super quiet, introvert kid. Talking back to an adult, I could never. And he was just super, like, I wouldn't say snarky, but, like, super sarcastic and everything. And he'd be like, what'd you say to me? And I just, like, oh my God, I can't talk back to you. I can't be sassy to you. And I don't know, he just, like, brought this other person out of me, and it was great. I feel like it was always like that with, like, all of the teachers. You really, you know, I've said this so many times, I just really loved my school, and I would have probably liked any regular high school, but I'm glad I got to experience this with an early college high school. And yeah, of course, well, that's gonna be our first break. Up next, we will continue. I'll be back after this short ad. Stay tuned. Hello, this is Emma from the coffee spot located on 406 West Main Street, here to invite you into our little coffee shop where we are hosting a toy drive for all the kids whose parents may not have the resources to give them a gift this Christmas Day. So please, give us a hand by dropping off any toys, preferably new and unopened, and with every toy you bring, you'll get a regular size free coffee or a food item. This was the coffee spot located on 406 West Main Street next to UT Arlington, wishing you a Merry Christmas and helping spread the Christmas joy. Welcome back. That was the coffee spot located on 406 West Main Street. They just opened. They're next to UT Arlington. They're super quaint, super cute, family owned. They just opened, and just all my fans out there, if you can, just stop by, give a toy, help spread cheer, or leap into it, And I think their cause is great. They're helping out the kids, and kind of a little helping out their own shop too, but giving away coffee. Who doesn't want coffee in this nice cold weather? A free food item. So don't forget to stop by, drop off your toy, even if you don't like coffee. It doesn't hurt to spread some cheer. Thank you. And geology, actually. Funny story, it was between geology or biology. I chose geology because I actually wanted to be a teacher, but in the end I changed my mind. But I still got to play with rocks, even though I have triphobia, which is just circles that are too in clusters. It just talking about it gives me the willies. Gross. But yeah, and actually one time during class I hollered out when the teacher changed the slide, and it was horrible, super embarrassing. But not really, because it was just a bunch of high school students who I've known for 4 years. So they just looked at me like I was crazy, even though only the professor looked at me like I was crazy. Everybody else knew. I was still a little embarrassed, but didn't affect my grades, so I was good. I took speech classes. I actually got to take art, and it was great. It was art appreciation, so you didn't really get to paint or anything, but actually my class was one of the lucky ones that actually got to make little pottery things in the college's pottery room, and that was a one-time thing. It was great. They didn't come out super good because we've never studied art, but it was fun. It was our teacher was a military, he was, who was he? Those people who are in the military, but they're military reserves. He was part of the reserves, so he had to go do training. So we didn't see him for a month, and we only had the classes on Friday, so it was great. We got to go out to eat for lunch and everything. Amazing. One of the perks, actually, your college professor cancels class. It's canceled. You don't have class for that hour and I think 50 minutes. So great. But yeah, I got to take Spanish 1 through 3, and that's actually why I'm gonna get my a minor in Spanish, because I have those courses and I just need a couple more classes from UNTD, and that's great. For me, at least. I got to take advantage of that. Every student had to take Spanish though. Math, like I said, math classes in the colleges, they were great. They were actually easier than the high school ones. What other class did I get to take? There was piano, music. I took, like I said, art, but it was one of those, you got to choose one of those. I chose art. English and writing. Our professor, she was super, not strict, but she was from Jersey, so she'd say it if she wanted to say it. But I learned so much. I know the difference between you and you are. Sorry. I know the difference between your and your. You are and yours. So I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of. But yeah, next question. Did the school offer sports? Sadly, the early college high school did not offer sports. We only got PE for freshman year, and it was just running around the school's track, which was 1.8 miles, running up and down hills. And I don't think we even got to do the pacer test. I think you're supposed to, but we did not have to, or the teacher just chose not to. We got to exercise in the parking lot. We just put our little mats down and we did our curl-ups and stuff. And we did our curl-ups and stuff, so that was great. Not really, but actually, I think if you were 18, you could join the college's sports, but it was just a lot of workload and then having to do sports, so nobody really got into playing sports like that. But, you know, it was nice to see the baseball guys when they were practicing. That goes in with homecoming and prom. Did we have those? No sports, so no football games, so no homecoming. And, you know, that was one of the things that really hurt the most, you know. You didn't get to experience those, and that was one of the tipping things that I was a little bit scared of when I first went to that school, because, like, no sports, no homecoming, and me being the volleyball pro in middle school, being my 5-foot self, I thought apparently I was going to make it in the big leagues. I'm glad I didn't think that strongly about myself. But yeah, we did have prom, junior and senior prom. We did have prom, junior and senior prom. They were great. I was actually part of my junior year and my senior year, I was part of the student committee. We chose to not do president and vice president. We did committees, and I was part of them for both years. And so I actually got to, you know, plan our prom and everything. It was super great. It was super fun. The budget was much bigger, less students. We got to do cute little places. We didn't have to do, like, big ballrooms or whatever. So yeah, that was really great. The smaller rooms, the less awkward it was. And, you know, like I said, you knew everybody there, so it wasn't like you had to wait hours for somebody to finally stand on the dance floor. No, music was on and we were dancing. And I think, like I said, small schools rock. Like I mentioned, I was part of the students committee, and there was many clubs. There was the Dungeons and Dragons, chess clubs, photography clubs, like any club you could think of. Usually we had it. You just had to get a sponsor, you know, basic stuff, and you made yourself a club. After school, before school, during lunch. Oh, we had a K-drama. One of the teachers would pull up, like, the K-dramas on her projector, and a bunch of girls, usually it was the girls, obviously, you know, a couple guys would go, and she'd bring food, people would bring food and stuff, and they'd watch their K-dramas during lunch, and that was really great. And we had an hour lunch, a whole hour for lunch. So, one of the perks of being a college student. And yeah, so, yeah. Okay, well, the last topic I'm going to discuss is, like, the disciplinary areas of the schools, because it's 2 different schools, so each school has its different rules. Obviously, they're usually similar, like the no guns, no smoking, like those type of things. But for the high school, you're still in high school, so, you know, you still get, if you do something bad, you can send to, I believe it's called the AP, or something like that, where it's like a whole different building. You have to go to a different school for like a couple weeks. And we actually had students go there because of marijuana. Next to the school is a park called Vitruvian. There's like buildings over there, but in between the school campus and the Vitruvian are a bunch, like, little forest thing. There's actually always bobcats and, like, wildcats there. They're always like, announcement, wildcat was seen, or bobcat, or whatever. But that's beside the point. And yeah, people got caught doing that, and they were sent to AP, and then they had to, like, move schools. And this was, like, freshman year. So, like, that was, like, I feel like that was, like, the most trouble anybody had ever gotten into. Like, for the rest of, like, the 4 years I was there, nobody ever got into fights. Nobody else got, somebody else got kicked out, but it was just because they were, like, super, super bad. But, like, there was no fights, and, like, usually in high schools, you know, like, there's, like, a fight every day and everything. But none of this school, so it wasn't Not that fun, but I mean, it could have been worse. It was usually problems from like the college campus. Like one time a man had a sword and he was walking along the track and he was just swinging it, so we had to evacuate. There was a bank was robbed, and they were afraid that the person would come to the school. That's really one of the things that's super bad about the school, because we don't have classes all at the same time, and if the professor like cancels, all you have to do is go sign in and then you leave. You just have to stay on campus. But the problem with that is the teachers and the principal don't always know your location. So when something like that happens, and it had happened where like people were just like everywhere because they didn't know where to go, because we weren't with like the high school, and like the college teachers have like different ways of doing things, and well, like people who don't have classes, like they probably wouldn't even be aware unless like they didn't even have an alarm. I just feel like that was a really bad part of the school. It was just a little scary because they just weren't prepared for these things. And a lot of things happened throughout the years, and even then they still didn't really change anything. So I feel like that was like one of the most scary things about going to the school. I mean, being that it was just like, it was still like in the works, people were still changing and everything. And midway through my sophomore year, we changed principals, and the other principal would let everything go. Like, I know if you didn't have class in the afternoon, because we have 4 periods, and they're like all an hour and 50 minutes long. And the last period, if you didn't have class, and let's say you had a job or something, or I guess you just wanted to go home, you could. And that was like the last principal's rules, and he was like super cool with it. Like, you'd get in trouble, he'd be like, okay, just don't do it again. Like, he'd talk to you. He wouldn't really get you in trouble unless it was like something super duper bad. But the new principal that came from one of like the regular high schools, oh yeah, no, that wasn't gonna roll with him. And he wasn't strict, he was super cool and everything, but like the letting people leave early, that was kind of like completely taken off. Like, you had to stay at school like a normal kid, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so that was like one of the things. That principal did change a lot of things. Things were a little bit different. But I think it was just because he was used to such a bigger school, like more kids, and here he knew like everybody's name, he knew everybody's parents. I thought that was really cool that like your principal knew you enough to know you by name, like how you look, and know your parents, and be able to talk to them about you, like, oh yeah, Juliana, this and that. And I thought that was really great. I really liked that about the school. And honestly, just like overall, I really wouldn't change the school I went to, because I got the opportunity to get my associate's degree and get that like college experience, just doing the work, talking to the teachers, people, like having to work with people I know I'm not gonna see, because college students, they come and they go. And I think that was like really helpful to do. Oh, and I learned how to write emails. That was one of the things that was super important, learning how to write emails to your professors. The teachers at early college were really big on that. The thank you, the sincerely, like the whole thing. And I thought that was really great. You got to learn like these little things about like growing up in the future. And like my ABBA teacher, he was able to put in like talking about taxes and like all those things. It was really great, because like we had the time to do those things, and he knew that if when we left, we actually like would remember things, and he'd see us in the hall and he'd like, don't forget. And I don't know, just like the small community, the small places, like everything was super great. Like, even though we didn't get like the sports and stuff, and we didn't get a lot of things that the regular high school students got, but we got to be close, and we still got to learn. And now I only have to do 2 years at UNT Dallas, and I think that's great, being that I still don't know what I want to major in. I chose a major, but I'm still like a little bit undecisive. But I don't have to stress about like more math classes, more English classes, history classes, and all those things, because I already did those, and I got all my basics out of the way. And I think that's like a win-win-win for me. and the school, and like for my future, because like that's just like I'm a step ahead, you know, and I'm really proud of that, and my parents are too. So I think I made a really good decision going to early college high school. So yeah, that was my little talk about my school, my high school years. Pretty great, of course, ups and downs, boyfriends, breakups, they were still there. But overall, the school was great, amazing. The program is great, and yeah, I would really recommend it to anybody whose kids aren't sure what they want to do high school year. Early college high school is the way. Thank you. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks again for leaping into this episode with me and getting to know a little bit part of my life, my high school years. Oh, I miss them, even though it's my first year in college. I love it. I appreciate each and every one of you, all of my listeners, fans, everybody, new or old. Thank you. Please, keep listening. I hope you liked it. And well, until next time, Leapers, make sure you check out our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Take a Leap. That's TAKEAL3AP. Thank you again and have a good day. And well, we'll leap in next time.